Hello explorers, so you've decided to do masters in US. For that you need to build your profile for that. So in this video we are going to talk about profile building, and let's try to break down this video into 6 parts. The first thing we'll talk about is what is profile building, how long does it take, and then we'll talk about the scores, the exam scores that you already have or if you're about to take your exams, and then we'll talk about awards and competitions. We will also talk about paper publications, and after that we'll talk about some unconventional ways you can build your profile, some tips and tricks for the working professionals. And if you have not seen why you should do masters in US, that is the previous video. You should watch that. That's very helpful. To talk about this video, we are going to go to San Francisco, someplace other than my garage. I've shot a lot of videos in the garage, so let's go someplace different. All right. What does it mean to say a profile building? So profile building actually takes a bit longer, like at least 1 year to build your profile for masters. So that means you have to start yearly. Like if you are in the 4th year, the beginning of the 4th year of your college, you should have started profile building at the 3rd year, like at the beginning of the 3rd year in the college. If you are a working professional in the 1st year, then that's a good time. Like you have 1 more year to prepare your profile. With 2 years experience, you can go for masters, right? So yeah, in general, what do you do with that 1 year? So it's not like every day you are working towards building your profile for that like 1 complete year. It's more like taking some steps, and then some steps are like waiting game. Like it's not like every day there is a debugging competition happening in your nearby university, right? You have to know when you have to apply for the debugging competition. Whenever the competition is happening, you have to go in person. So it might just be your first time, and it may not work out in the first time. So you try second time, third time, and after a few attempts, maybe you win the first place or second place. Now that's a clear evidence, right? You have to collect that certificate. So this is why it takes time. Don't lose your hope. Continue to be patient. So that's what I mean by profile building. So when the university sees your profile, they say it's not just academics. So let's now jumping into the second topic, which is academics, right? So CGPAs, yes, CGPA is important. If you have backlog, make sure take the next 1 year to focus on it and clear it. You shouldn't have any standing backlog. If you have any standing backlogs, clear them. Start preparing for GRE and the IELTS if you are writing GRE, right? The next 1 year, it's going to be profile building, getting ready for the exams. And if you are planning to join any course, like in-person course for the GRE or IELTS, if you have the means to do that, you can do that. But I did not do it. I did everything online. So you can very well study all by yourselves. The universities are not just looking for the IELTS or TOEFL or your CGPA. These 3 are important, but this is not the only thing they are looking for that. You need to try and stand out from all the applications. That's going to be the next few sections in this video. So where we are going right now, to give some context quickly, we are going to this park called Dolores Park, one of the very popular parks. Now I'm using a mix of human driving and self-driving. So this month Tesla has given 1 free month of full self-driving for everyone who owns a Tesla in the US. So right now car is driving itself. I wish I can show it to you, but I'm not supposed to legally. I'm not supposed to touch the camera, so that's why it is mounted there. Yeah, it is currently following a route. Okay, so we finally arrived at the park, and I also found parking. They are trying to put out a fire right now. There's like live DJ going on there. Park is happening, I guess. Okay, so we're going to sit in one of these parklets, talk about profile building. So this is one of my favorite spot near the Dolores Park. The Dolores Park is right there. Every time I come to the Dolores Park, I come to this place and sit in one of these parklets and read a magazine or something. And this corner is also very busy and something's always happening. So I just watch this corner and read a magazine or a book sitting mostly on one of these parklets. Next up is awards and competition. Let's say, for example, you are trying to win a debugging competition and this is the first time you are attending. That might be a big goal to set. So just maybe for starters, just set a goal that planning to attend a debugging competition. Maybe second or third time you can actually win it. And if you end up winning it, store the evidence. Universities, sometimes they might come back and ask like, the certificate, where is the certificate? Because recently some parents have tried to fabricate evidences. They try to make their kids look brighter than they are, smarter than they are with fake photos and evidences. So try to store your evidence in Google Photos. If it is a certificate or iCloud or Google Photos, somewhere in your computer. It goes without saying, don't make up any certificate. You actually win a debugging competition. Mention that in your SOP that you won the debugging competition. Universities have a way of finding out if your profile is real or fake. And if you're doing any paper presentations, not the paper publication, we'll talk about that in the next step. Paper presentation is all about how many people you are presenting it to, which conference you are presenting it on. It's how you are presenting it. The author could be somebody else. You are just presenting the paper. So maybe shoot a video of that, put it in YouTube with a timestamp, because in YouTube you cannot change the timestamp. Once the video is published, it's published. And 1 year ago you presented this in this university, in your maybe this is a university in the next town that your friend is studying, and they invited you for that symposium. Try to capture a video of that or photo of that and store it somewhere. So that might be useful as an evidence. So next is paper publication. So this is obviously you cannot publish a paper all by yourself. You can possibly be a co-author if you are studying undergrad. Maybe you can co-author a publication with your university staff or professor, and try to offer help. More like approach one of your professors and offer help, saying in many cases they are trying to do a PhD and there's a lot of research or project work to be done, and try to see if you can do one small research in one small section and present it back to your professor, and they might use that in their paper publication, and that's how you can become a co-author for that publication. This all starts with just you walking into your staff room and approaching them and saying, hey, I'm trying to do masters. As first step, I'm trying to help out in any way in any of your paper publications. So that's how it begins. And don't try to pick any fights with them when you are in like first year or second year, because possibly in third year you might approach them not being in a good situation with them. The best thing to do is just approach them and apologize. Most of the time, all that it takes is just one apology. So yeah, the moral of the story, don't fight with your university staff. Imagine being co-author for like 4 or 5 papers like this. That will really add up in your resume. If you ever get a chance to present that paper in any of the conferences, let's say it could be in Delhi or it could be in Singapore or Dubai, if you actually have the means for it, booking the flights and hotels, and if your parents can afford to do that, I highly recommend doing that. And then you can collect pictures or videos of that, post that in your YouTube. And it could also be a good exposure, or you might get some good connections. Try this. This is just a suggestion, because one of my friend actually got the chance, but they thought going to Singapore for just doing this paper presentation might be expensive. But now if we think about it, that's actually a good chance that he missed. So if you get a chance and if you can find sponsors to sponsor your flight ticket and hotel, do it. Go ahead and do it. Alright, so next up, if you are a working professional, not in a college, you finish college, you are working, say you've been working for like 1 year, 2 years, you actually have more chance of getting amazing profile. You have higher chance of building a decent profile. So your managers, they are a key to unlock this. So build a really good rapport with your manager, and try to get one recommendation letter from your manager. If it's a client, that's even better. If your client can provide that this person was the key leader in this project, and our company benefited from this project being launched, and this many users used this project. So collect all the evidences. All this information was published in some kind of website where the client launched this project, and there was press attention to that. Collect the link. Use those information in your SOP. SOP should contain some raw data about all this. And if you can get one recommendation letter from your client, very unconventional. It's very hard also. You have to have really good relationship with your client to actually try and attempt this. And if you're doing MBA, imagine having a recommendation letter from a client saying this guy was an amazing leader. That is going to really add up in your resume, and your recommendation letter is going to look amazing. It's hard to build such a connection with the client, and if you can do that, that will be great. And from manager, yeah, obviously getting a recommendation letter from your manager should be easier than getting a recommendation letter from your client. That is why you should build a good rapport with your manager. Obviously, all the numbers matter. In your recommendation letter, ask your manager together to put in all the numbers about the projects that you've done. If you finish the project, like in the 2-year work experience, every time you finish a project, try to create a notepad with all the data about the results of the project, and also build a good relationship with your skip level manager, your manager's manager, or a director of the team. If they write a recommendation letter, that's going to carry even more weight because the titles in the recommendation letter matters a lot more. These are some unconventional ways. That is the most important thing. Like if we take 80-20, 80% of traditional methods of building your profile, and then try to build your profile in 20% of unconventional ways, because that's how you stand out from other people. That's how you stand out from all the 21-year-old party animals who have like 10 backlogs. Taking unconventional route, it's easier to stand out from the crowd. So if you are a working professional and moving from one company to another, try to get a recommendation on LinkedIn from your past manager. That will really be helpful. What other unconventional ways you can actually build your profile? Let's say you really like Java, JVM, Kotlin, and you try to explain all this in your YouTube channel. Let's say that is a technical YouTube channel, and you gather like 100,000 audience. That goes in your SOP. That is definitely unconventional. It's hard to gather 100,000 viewers talking about Java and Kotlin. You really have a knack for it. Then mention the channel name in your SOP and say how far it took for you to gather that audience and what are all the topics you covered. Maybe even read the comment sections and take up all the important. If you really help someone and someone is saying this video really helped me to complete this project or accomplish this certain thing, take that and put it in your portfolio website. So that is one other idea. Let me know in the comments if you know any other unconventional methods of building profile that might be helpful for others. I might even pin it. So if all of this sounds overwhelming for you, it is possible. It was overwhelming when I got started. So profile building is easier than you think. So maybe the first step, if you are a college student, say second year or third year, maybe the very easiest, simplest thing you can do could be just walking into your staff room, talking to your professor, saying, hey, I'm planning to do masters, and if you have any plans of publishing papers, can I help out? Can I take a slice of the research that you are doing? Can I do the research for that? Just walk in. Okay, even simpler agenda. Just walk into your staff room and say hi to your staff. As simple as that. So I'll see you all in next video. Next video could possibly be about GRE, how to prepare for IELTS. Do you need to do GRE and all that? How I prepared for GRE IELTS. All right, I'll see you all in next video. Bye bye.